So on to a story where the magic is a lot more subtle. This book is called The Violin Maker's Secret by Evie Woods, and it begins at an airport lost and found. So apparently when people's bags end up here and aren't reclaimed for a long enough period of time, people can purchase the stuff that ends up there. So the first main character, Devlin, works at the airport and decides to buy this unusual violin that ends up in the lost and found. Like, he's been having a tough time with his current girlfriend. Like, she keeps expecting him to propose and he keeps delaying it for his own reasons, and he's kind of hoping that giving her this violin for her upcoming birthday will somehow turn this relationship around. It's not until later that he discovers that maybe this violin might be related to a major theft that has gone on recently, and then suddenly he doesn't quite know what to do with the instrument that he has. So he goes to the second main character, Walter. Like, he is one of Devlin's old teachers, and Devlin catches him at I guess it's a bad time because Walter is contemplating suicide, and Devlin interrupts him at this, which is both good and bad, I suppose, from the teacher's point of view, or former teacher's point of view. Like, he's not really happy at it being interrupted, but at the same time, his old student's arrival and the mystery of the violin gives him a new purpose in life. Like, the two of them sort of throw themselves into figuring out where this violin came from, like whether or not it really is the instrument that was stolen, and if so, what exactly they should do about it. And their search brings in character number 3, Gabrielle. So she is an instrument appraiser. Like, she actually used to be a very talented young violinist herself, but due to issues that she had with her teacher, as well as a pain in her wrist that no one could explain, like, she ended up having to leave behind like her dreams of a career as a professional violinist, and all of that is really still kind of haunting her. But she kind of hopes that maybe this violin, if it turns out to be like an previously undiscovered treasure or something, or if she can find something that can kind of shake up the musical world, like she can rebuild her family's reputation and sort of get her own life back on track as well, because she took over the family violin shop after her father ended up in jail. So yeah, like, a lot of these characters have quite a bit going on in their lives where they haven't really been able to move on from things that happened to them in the past, and as they pursue the investigations of this violin and deal with the consequences and the people related to the crimes, I guess, that led to the violin being in their possession in the first place, they also work through their personal issues, build new relationships with one another, and find a different way to continue on, like, with their lives. And then woven throughout these characters' stories are snippets of stories from the violin's own history, where you meet the person that created it, like the kind of magic that was worked upon it, which is, again, like, very subtle, because the violin kind of it touches the lives of the people around it, like it has a consciousness and interacts with them, and you actually get sections from the violin's spirit, I guess, a point of view, and it ties off a lot of loose ends for the many different characters whose lives it touches upon. So I'd probably say that was what I liked about it. Like, it ties all of its many loose ends up very neatly. It has a lot of relationship lines going on, like primarily romantic relationship lines, but also like family and more friendship relationship lines, and like people's issues with their own family and history. Like, I think it handled all of that complexity pretty well. Even the bad guy, I guess, like, didn't end up being quite as bad as she could have been and stuff. But something I did not like. I think the story took me some time to get into. Like, I didn't particularly like the writing style. Like, I often say stories are lively as something I like, and this is kind of the opposite of that. Like, I found the writing style, it just didn't really have, like, it didn't describe things in a way that really drew me on. Like, and it took several chapters, I guess, before it really started to get really interesting for me. I guess I found the pacing maybe not slow so much as the descriptions didn't really catch my interest.